What's up, guys? DZ here, and I've been pretty busy the last couple days, starting up college again. But I wanted to get this video out here because I won't really have any free time until after Toronto. This is the deck that I would have played at the event. As most of you know, I'm writing at it, so I won't actually be playing. So I thought I would share my deck list anyway. There's no real reason not to. The deck I would have played is Gem Knight Clown Kuriboh, which might sound pretty crazy. That's because it is. It's pretty unconventional, especially from other Gem Knight builds. But let's just get into it. It's kind of similar to the build that I posted on TCG Player this past Monday, but I feel like it's a little better. Actually, I feel like it's a lot better, but we'll talk about it. So we're playing 3 Lazuli and 3 Obsidian. These are really the only good gem monsters. The problem with the gem monsters is that none of them do anything by themselves. You have to have a spell card with them, which is pretty similar to Shaddolls, except the Shaddolls actually have flip effects that are semi-useful. It's better than imagine Shaddolls if they all had lower attack points and didn't have flip effects. That's what this deck. That's what the Gem Knights are like, so it's a little bit harder to play around. The trade-off is that you're a lot more explosive because your spell card isn't limited to once per turn. So we're playing those 6. And then we're playing 2 Amber in Lapis. I talked about this in the article a lot. We're not playing Garnet because Citrine is just really bad. We're not playing Tourmaline because Amber does everything Tourmaline does except make Topaz, and Topaz isn't that great, but Amber's effect, he's a Gemini monster, is just fucking insane. So there's a ton of combos that revolve around triggering Amber's effect, and just once per turn you can discard a Gemini, or a Gem Knight card to add a banished Gem Knight card to your hand. So there's a ton of really cool stuff you can do with that. And I'll talk about probably combos in a later video. I do have one combo I'll show in this video. That's a 2-card combo and does 6,800 damage. And then we're playing 1 Gem Armadillo. I think this card isn't very good. Pasquale refuses to play any copies. But in this version, it's okay because it's level 4. The problem with this card in most other versions, and why I didn't play it in the article one, was it's not a Gem Knight card, so you can't banish it for fusion, nor can you make any of the fusion monsters except for Zirconia with it, so it just kind of sits there. But in this build, we have a lot more rank 4 options, so the Armadillo is fine. I don't know, it's definitely cuttable. It's not that important. I don't know why it's quadrupled in price. But anyway, playing 3 Mathematician. This brings all the different engines together. You can send your Gem Knight cards, you can send your Wing Kuriboh, you can send your Clowns, you can do whatever you want with Mathematician. And it's really these 4 cards are the only 4 cards that you're ever normal summoning. So that means that all your you can definitely play more normal summons. In this version, if I played it at Toronto, I would not be main decking Denko because I would want a better game 1 against Cosmo and Necroz because you just want to OTK your opponent. But I would definitely be siding Denko, Decree, and Chivalry. But anyway, playing 1 Wing Kuriboh just because you have to. And then the Perform Mage engine was just 2 of each of them. This is pretty standard. This was pretty big at the ARG 25K, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is a pretty big thing at Toronto, which is why I would have been super excited to play this deck, because a lot of people don't know what these cards do. But basically, this guy can block damage once, and also you can banish him to add one of the other ones to your hand. And then when this guy's sent to the grave, you can take 1,000 damage to special summon him. And this guy's just like a Kage if you have... if there's 2 monsters on board, you can just special summon him. So what ends up happening is you'll fuse with Trick Clown to make Seraphonite, and then it special summons itself. So now you have either rank 4 fodder or another card on board to make a second Seraphonite. Alternatively, you can do stuff if you already have this engraved, you can send Damage Juggler and then add Hat Tricker to your hand and then do stuff and make rank 4s, and that's really important because the rank 4s that this deck can play are really good. But that's it for the monsters. No hand traps, because you really just want all combos in this deck. Like, hand traps aren't really going to help you. 3 regular fusion, 3 brilliant fusion, 3 absorb fusion, and then 3 of the Philosopher's Stone. So if you don't know what this card does, because you didn't read my article, if you have a Winged Kuriboh in grave, you can pay half your life points to add any of these other cards to your hand for free. I mean, I say for free, but it's for life points. So the life points shouldn't matter because you should just win anyway. And when I first came up with this deck, I really thought about cutting this card because of the Trick Clown interaction, where like you'll be taking 1,000 and then you'll be taking like half. So that like really kills you fast. But like you just if you have a turn where you're resolving a Trick Clown and you have this that you can resolve, you actually just win that turn. Like this deck, in Hoban's terms of like big and little decks, this deck can, I think, have the potential to be the biggest deck, in the sense that there is like no ceiling for what you can do if your hand is playable. In this version, honestly, like do some test hands. All the hands are just super playable. Basically, you just want to get to these 2 cards as fast as possible, and then just like combo off. If you have like these 2 cards, you can do like a million combos. But even if you just have Brilliant Fusion and Mathematician, there's like a ton of stuff you can do. We'll talk about that in a second. So you're playing the 12 fusions, and then we're playing 4 1-ofs. DDR has a lot of cool interactions because you can get back the banished stuff, like the stuff that you're banishing for the fusion card, as well as you can get back the damage juggler that banishes himself, as well as you can get back stuff that you banish with the level 10 gem, or the level, I think it's level 9, Gem Knight Master Diamond, like banishes a fusion monster, and then you can copy its effect. So you can get the fusion monsters back with DDR, as long as it was properly summoned first. And then Foolish, which good for the same reason Mathematician is. Book and Regeki. These are all just standard cards. I always play Book and Regeki. I just think they're really versatile. That's why they're limited. For the trap cards, you're not playing Denko, which is one of the reasons I didn't want to play Denko in the main. It's because then we have room for these 4. So these are basically your only defense against Trish. Usually, if you go second against Nekroz, you can just OTK them, unless they, for some reason, left up like a huge board. If they left up a board of just like a Manju, or just like a Manju and a Unicorn, you can still push through it. But if they left up like Manju, Senju, or Manju, Unicorn, Valk, then you can't really push through that very well. But if they don't leave a huge board up, the only thing that will really kill you is a Valk, but you can play around that. So the only problem is that when you go first against Nekroz, you often, if your hand is like 2 Mathematicians, you just want to like, basically you're just making a move to set up your next turn and then passing, but a lot of times that move is leaving a monster on board. So when I wasn't playing these cards, it just left me open for Trish, and you really only need one of them, because you don't care about anything else. And unlike a lot of the other decks that I play, like this deck doesn't care about Exciton Knight, because you're just winning that turn. So like, if Nekroz forces you to go first, basically you just summon Mathematician or summon Armadillo and then just pass your turn. So if they Trish you, or if they attempt to Trish you, you need like some form of defense. So I think 4 forms of defense is a pretty good number. But you won't really need the Mind Crush for Valk, because you can usually just make number 104 Masquerade. Well, let's talk about the extra deck. So we're playing the Lady, the Master Diamond. You really only need 1 in 1 of those, especially in this version, because there's not a lot of extra deck space. I'm playing 2 Prismara. You can definitely cut off one of these. I find myself going into the second more often than I'd like to admit, as a card that I bumped up to 2 after playing it at 1 for a while. But feel free to try it at 1. I don't know. If the first one gets negated, it really sucks, because this is like your only piece of spot removal with the Gem Knight cards. So I think you have to play 2, but it's your choice. Playing 2 Seraphonite. This is key to your combos, because you can fusion summon her with light cards. So you can do it with any of the clowns. Well, not Hat Tricker, but that would be a terrible play anyway. But you can do it with the clowns and with Kuriboh. And she gets that extra normal summon, which is really good. Then 2 Lapis Lazuli. Basically, you're summoning the first one, sending the second one with its effect, and then trying to do damage, and then getting out Master Diamond, and then copying the one you just sent. That's kind of how you win. And then 1 Zirconia. The other build had 3 Zirconia and Felgrand, but that's just not... In this version, it's a lot easier to summon number 104 Masquerade than it is Felgrand, so we're just playing one of these. I've missed the second one a couple times, but like the extra deck space is just way too tight. We're already like cutting back on rank 4s because we only have so much room. But we're playing the important ones. Castell, Dweller, Cowboy. I pretty much refuse to play any extra deck without Cowboy. I just go into it way too often. Diamond Crab King for towers. Trapeze Magician opens up a ton of combos. Just putting huge amounts of damage on board. It's super important. And then 104 Masquerade, which if you don't know what it does, basically if you have... You need 3 guys to make this, but then any effects, or any monster effects that activate in the battle phase, you can just negate for 1 detachment, and they take 800 damage. So basically they can't activate anything in the damage, or in the battle phase, unless they have like 4 monster effects, in which case, I don't know, that'd be a little crazy anyway. But basically you can push through Valk and Honest. Probably not Honest, though. This probably doesn't work in the damage step. Or the damage calculation. Opponent's monster effect. Well, I guess it negates the activation. So it should work on Honest, but don't take my word for that. But Jiragato, Gores, like all that shit, you can just negate with Masquerade. But that's the whole deck. I will quickly show you, or I will attempt to quickly show you a combo that basically was the reason that I decided to play this deck. I was fascinated with Gem-Knights just in general, but when I discovered this combo, it really made me want to play the Perform Age engine. So basically, all you need is Mathematician and Brilliant Fusion. Just 2 cards that are pretty easy to get to. I guess the Mathematician isn't super integral if you have like a Foolish or you already have the card engraved, but basically you just need these guys. So first, you're just going to summon the Mathematician and send an Amber to the grave. So now your grave is just Amber, and you have Mathematician on the field. And then you activate Brilliant Fusion to bring out Seraphonite using Trick Clown and Lazuli. I can get to her. So then you have those two, both of these triggers. So the Trick Clown special summons itself, and then the Amber adds back to your hand. And then you can just normal summon the Amber. And make... I guess this is... I guess it's... I was right on the damage, never mind. And then make Diamond Crab King. And then that damage right there is 3,045.68. So that's quite a lot of damage for 2 cards. They'd only be at 1,200 after that, which you can get over in like a million different ways. Like, that's not difficult at all. Like, that's only 2 cards. If you had like any other monster in hand or fusion, and if you had like Hat Tricker in hand, or if you had Hat Tricker in hand, or you had a Damage Juggler and like a way to get to a fusion, you could actually save the Diamond Crab King and then just make Masquerade. So it's 300 less damage, but then you could push through like Valk and stuff. So that's just a really neat combo that kind of convinced me to play this deck. But sorry for not posting videos this past week, and apology in advance for probably not posting videos next week too. I'm just super swamped right now with work and school and Toronto and shit like that. But I will see you guys later. Hopefully enjoy the deck profile. Goodbye.